The best tips for beginners and free-to-play players in Warpath. This video is going to kind of break down the best tips that I wish I had known at the start of the game. Some of these things I didn't find out until recently. So guys, these tips are going to definitely help you progress in the game as fast as possible. Of course, if you are new to the game, please share this with your alliance, your friends. Please try and tell everyone, spread the word of this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope it helps teach everyone how to improve in the game as quick as possible. All right, guys, let's jump straight into the video.
I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been joining the Discord. It has been blowing up, and you guys have been having so many conversations over there. Massive thank you. I really do appreciate it. Please let me know if you are joining the Discord for the Warpath. We'll be able to give you that special Warpath crew tag. Once again, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. Let's jump straight into the video.
So, guys, for this very first tip, we are actually going to jump straight into the settings. Now, I don't know if on a brand new account, if you're just starting and you're a beginner, this might not be checked for you, because when I started, it wasn't. You had to manually check it, but maybe they've changed the game and it's automatically enabled for you. But make sure you have enable army power. What this does, if you have this turned off, I'm going to quickly show you right now, guys. If you have this turned off, you don't know what power units are. And when I first started playing, this was standard. You know, you never had this turned on. But if when you do activate this setting, what will happen, guys, is you'll then be able to see the power size of the unit, and therefore if you only have, say, a 20 mil unit but you're trying to fight a 30 mil unit, you're gonna have some trouble there. So you're gonna want to know what size unit you have, what size unit the enemy have. Again, I don't know if maybe they've updated it and this is now ticked, but this is one of the first things that I learned that really helped me understand and sort of gauge how and who I should be attacking. So moving on to the next tip, it's more of a suggestion for you guys, not necessarily a tip, but I suggest you try and think hard about what unit you want to be. Do you want to be a base-to-base gamer, or do you want to be a field gamer? Now, what I mean by that is, do you want fast units that are going to be out in rallies, out in the field, very, very fast? Or by base to base, I mean, do you want howitzers? They're going to be used to siege bases. This can very much directly impact how quick you level up, because if you know what you want to have, you can then definitely work towards it. But of course, there are ways that even if you are not sure, that you could definitely be able to help yourself move forward faster. That being the getting all units to 7.1, and then that way you can always make the options further on down the line. Guys, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be the tactics role. And now what this is for when you have an alliance and when you have the army groups. Now, when you command army groups, you are able to change the statistics of the actual army group depending on how you set it up. So we're going to look at the two different options. You have command and you have coordination. What command is when you are the leader of the actual rally. But what coordination is when you actually send units to the rally. So starting off on the command, guys, we are going to want to focus on going all the way down the middle on each and every single one. What this does, it allows you to get a total of 15 units to be able to be in your rally when you're commanding it. Now, the next thing, guys, you do not want to worry about the first two. These first two columns here are going to be Raven based. Obviously, you want to go down the middle, but don't worry about the top or the bottom. But what you want to do, guys, is focus on either mixed army and combined arms, or you want to focus on mechanized division and special operations. Now, what these two are, guys, is depending on whether you run a rally with all the same units or whether you want to run a rally with mixed units. So as you can see here, there's three different types of units in this game. You've got artillery, you've got tanks, and you've got infantry. So with artillery, you're going to have the ATG, the howitzers, and the rocket launchers. And then for the tanks, you'll have light tanks, heavy tanks, medium tanks, you know, and so on. Super heavy tanks, all the different vehicles, helicopters, and then finally infantry. Obviously, infantry, there is only one type of infantry. So with that being said, guys, if you're going to run a rally that has only tanks and helicopters and MBs, and you do not want to add infantry or artillery to it, you're going to want to go down to the bottom. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is have an extra 5% total damage when you are running with one unit type. But if you know you're going to be running rallies, let's just say you're going to run artillery rally, but you want to also have a tanking unit with you, say an infantry unit to tank or a super heavy to tank, and you're going to be mixing, you're going to have artillery and vehicles in that one rally, then you're going to want to go to mixed, and which is what I've got, because whenever I do a rally, 9 times out of 10, I'll add an infantry unit in, or I'll add a super heavy, a helicopter, something into tank. Obviously, I'll have 14 of the actual artillery, and then I'll have 1 space for the mixed rally. So with that being said, guys, it depends on you and how you run your rallies, because let's just say you do 90% of the time you run your rallies with just helicopters or just light tanks, whatever, and you're going to want to obviously go down the bottom. The moment you add one unit that's not the same category, you're going to end up losing out on that 5% bonus. So make sure you know what type of rallies rallies you're going to be running. That way you're going to be able to set it up so you get the most amount of damage and damage resist when commanding your rallies. Moving on to coordination, guys, this is going to be when you send to a rally. So when you send to a rally, guys, what you're going to want to be looking at is when you're sending rallies, what are you going to be sending and how are you going to be using them? So whenever I do send to a rally, normally it's I'm sending my howitzers to rallies, or I'm sending my helis to rallies to help people tank. Sometimes I'll send my heli to a rally to do attacking, but still 9 times out of 10 is going to be when tanking. So I've set it up that whenever I'm attacking, I'm getting Camp Liberty firepower. Again, it's only 1.5% firepower. It's nothing crazy. And same as here, 1.5% HP. It's not a crazy amount, but whatever unit you normally send to a rally, think about the camp it's in, and then obviously you can add it to it, okay? Moving on, guys, this is damage resist. So you can get 1.5 damage resist, and then you can also get damage itself. So again, whenever I send my Howie, I'm going to want it to deal more damage. If I'm going to want to send my helicopter, 9 times out of 10, it's also going to be for, you know, killing, but at the same time, they use it a lot because I have tanking officers, so I've decided to add more damage resist. So this is when you are sending your units, and command is when you are commanding the rally. So guys, I hope this helped, and as always, I'm not sure if everyone knew, but this is another tip for maybe even new people. Up the top right here, you have a button where you can reset your army groups. It costs 2,000 gold, but you can reset it. You get all 60 points back, and that way, if you say you've done it wrong and you didn't even know, you could redo it. I have literally last week found out that some people didn't know you could reset this. They've been running really bad setups, but now they're able to fix it. So I hope this helped, guys, especially if you're new and even if you are a veteran on this game. So guys, this is another tip I wish I knew when I was starting off. When I first started, I didn't know about this. It took about a month for me to know, but if I had known this a little bit sooner, it would have made my campaign so much easier, because as you guys know, you're always coming against different enemies, and I was like, well, my units just aren't good enough. They keep dying. I wish I had this unit instead. Now guys, I don't know if any of you know this, right? But let's just say I have an ATG or whatever this unit may be, and I don't want it anymore. If you remove it, obviously that doesn't destroy it. What you could do, guys, is go to the disassembly plant, click reset, and you can reset your unit. And what happens is you get back all of the bullets, the cogs, and the XP that you've used. And then when you reset it, you're now able to use all of those bullets. You don't lose the unit. So if you go to your units, it's still here and available. You can then, obviously, I'm going to upgrade it again because I don't want to upgrade anything else. But let's just say I did want to upgrade my infantry here. I can now upgrade my infantry. And when I finish with the infantry, I can then go and reset my unit again and get back the ATG. So as a very smaller person and you're starting off on the game, this is one of the tips I wish I knew a lot quicker. So big shout out to my leader who helped me when I was, you know, learning the game. He was the one who first introduced me to the resetting, and this was about a month after joining the alliance. I was a bit shy at the start, and I didn't know there were so many things I overlooked, and this is one of them. I never knew you could reset units for about a month. So definitely try resetting your units so you can build your army in the perfect form for you, especially so that you can do the campaign, because this is going to be one of the other tips I wanted to talk about. Your campaign, guys, you want to max out your campaign as quick as you can. The quicker you max out your campaign, the quicker you earn bullets. So big tip there, make sure you're resetting your troops whenever you need be to try and attack the opposing enemy, whether it be actually in the game or in the campaign, in the most efficient way possible. So the next thing we're going to talk about, it's going to be a very brief one, guys, but camp buffs. Now, again, a lot of people, including myself, I only found out this not long ago. But what I mean by I only found out this not long ago is a specific type. So what I mean, guys, is by I've only just found this out is, believe it or not, I've always known about camp buff. But the thing is, I never knew that this applied to all troops. So let's just say we're on Camp Liberty. As you can see here, it says if I have 5 Camp Liberty troops deployed, I get this bonus. But what I genuinely, until not long ago, I thought that that meant my Camp Liberty would get the bonus of that 18%. But it's not the case. It's actually all units within your army group that get this bonus buff. And I genuinely didn't know that. I generally thought that it was whatever camp has that amount of troops, that's the camp that gets the bonus. So I thought my Howie is, you know, my baby. I want to make sure my Howie has the most damage available. So I always focused on trying to have the spare units. And when it says deployed, guys, they don't have to actually be built. So you see here, these classes as being deployed. You don't actually need to train them in order for you to actually get this bonus buff. So what you want to do, guys, is if you only use 2 different camps, let's just say you only have a Marty and you only have a Liberty, do not deploy any Vanguard. But of course, most people have at least 1 unit from each camp. So what I would advise, if that is the case and you do use units from each camp, as you can see here, I have 1, 2 Vanguard. I then have only 1 Marty. And finally, I have 1 Howie. But what I do is I use the spares left over, like the empty slots that I don't use, to put Liberty on. So I now have 5 Liberty, and then I have 2 Vanguard, and then finally 1 Marty. So I'm on a 5-2-1. This is the best way for me to get an advantage while still using 3 different camp units. And by this, what I mean is I have 5 units, which gives me the 15%, and then I also have the 2 units, which gives me an extra 2%. So I'm getting a total of 17% damage and damage resist to my troops and my base just by having this loadout. Now, of course, as I said, you can try and maximize by having a 6 and a 2, which would give you a total of 20%, a 3 extra % damage and damage resist. But that means you'd only be able to use 2 out of the 3 available camps. So guys, I hope that kind of helped summarize, and maybe you didn't know this either, because again, I only found out recently that this actually applies to all of your troops, not just the camp that you have the 5 units for. So the next thing, guys, as a new player especially, this might also even apply to some of the older guys. When you see things that have like the red dots, you know, even over here, I got my unit, it has the red dots on it. It's a kind of instinct in any video game to get rid of those red dots as possible. So you see up here, I got a 1. I want to try and get rid of it. Okay, boom, now it's gone again. So getting rid of those red dots is so satisfying in video games. And you could probably sit there and all agree with me that whenever you do see these red dots, you try and get rid of them. Boom. You probably see me do it when I'm on videos. I try and remove all of the red dots. It's just instinct. It's nature for us humans to be doing that. But when it comes to things like assembling units, there's so many red dots here, and yes, I want to get rid of them. But guys, I promise you now, please just try and fight your instinct to get rid of all red dots. Sometimes you just really don't need to get rid of them. The biggest one for me is assembling. I would advise, do not just assemble units because you have them there, okay? Wait until you have a level 5 unit that you're able to get rid of. That way you're being the most efficient as possible when coming to assembling your units. So you can see here, I've got 5-star units here. I've got infantry and I've got a heavy. So for example, I now have available units to be able to then make that 5-star, and it's the most efficient way possible. Same with the heavy. I can come down here. Now, have you noticed I've only got 2 heavies? So I've got to be careful what I use to upgrade here. So I'm leaving 2 extra of these, and if I grab this, I've got 3 extra of these. I've still got 2 of these, still got 3 of these. So I'm kind of minimizing what I lose. That way I will try and always have units available to be able to then, you know, make that next breakthrough. And honestly, guys, this is going to be a very good tip, because I know when I first started, I was just assembling everything, just getting rid of everything, and then be like, okay, nice, I've got all these new units, and then I'd get a 5-star and be like, oh man, I wish I'd made that instead. So the best thing to do, just hold on to them. Just because it's got a red dot, don't get rid of it, guys. I promise you, it's a really hard instinct to fight, but I hope this one helps. So the next tip, guys, I'm going to give you, especially as a new player, go to your Alliance store. Now, I know we've just spoke about this in a recent video that I said you want to try and get as many VIP points as possible. This is correct, but I also did say I'd try and get the universal coupons, the drink coupons, because again, this will help with the drink section. And then, guys, the War Machine statues. War Machine, although he doesn't seem like a crazy officer with, you know, all the new officers that are coming out, early game, guys, this is one of the best officers on the game. And the reason for it, he offers only 1,300, which sure isn't the highest, but it's still somewhat decent. And he offers load time, and he offers a lot of load time. So he offers 10% load time here. He offers 10% load time here. He gives damage buff, he gives firepower, which again, it's not a lot of firepower, but overall he just helps really boost whatever unit he's on. And considering you can get him fairly quickly at the start of your account life, I think he's generally one of the most underrated officers when it comes to early game. So definitely think about trying to get him, guys. You always want to try and get him. Any excess goes into VIP, because obviously VIP is one of the most important things. But I thought I would include this. I didn't really say too much about him in the last video, so I really hope that this helps you. Definitely think about getting him. A very good officer early game. And finally, guys, to add on to this sort of section of Alliance, the contribution coins, it says here you have to contribute via the Alliance research, assisting allies, and then collecting resources. And what this is, of course, I'll show you here. The research is whenever you donate to the research here, you get the coins. You see it pops up. Sometimes you get extra, sometimes you get like just a standard 2. But whenever you have the research available, try and see what your alliance is doing. Always try and contribute to it. And then with the gold, don't waste your gold on it too much. Every time you donate, it adds some gold to it, okay? But once it hits 200, every time you donate, it stays at 200. So it starts at 10, then it's 20, 30, 40, 50, and it goes up and up and up. So what I do is I get to 200 and then stop. That way, I'm just getting a bonus amount of rewards and those coins available. And then furthermore, guys, so you see you got Alliance territory. Always try and send your farms. So if you see my farm here, my farm is in Alliance territory, which means I get a collection speed bonus of 25% and I get Alliance contribution coins. Now, if I was to send this farm, let's just say I send it to this farm over here, it's not in my Alliance territory, I won't get that bonus buff, which means I'm not going to get any coins and I'm also not going to get it faster. So if you're trying to level up your account as fast as possible, try and farm the farms within your Alliance territory and try and stay within your Alliance territory at all times. So guys, what we're going to talk about next is artillery. Now, if you are someone who uses artillery, it's probably one of the most favorited units in the game. But whenever you have an artillery, okay, if you are to shoot at someone, it takes 4 seconds, okay? Now, what I'm going to advise you to do, guys, is pre-charge. So what I've done here is your unit is now charged. If I move my unit, I'm going to have to do that 4-second shot all over again. So right now, my units are loaded. The moment I move, my units become unloaded. Now, what happens is when you are loaded, I'll show you right now. I'm going to grab my heli. I'm going to initiate a fight over here. Oh, try not to kill them. I want them to chase me. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to show you that when you are pre-charged, okay, when you are pre-charged, what happens is you instantly shoot, which means you're instantly getting 4 seconds worth of powerful damage from a howitzer. So if you notice here, as long as I haven't moved, my howitzer will instantly shoot. This is saving me 4 seconds worth of countdown. I'm instantly in the fight. This is definitely advisable. Even when attacking bases, you get that extra shot off right at the start. This could be very powerful for anyone, whether you're new or old to the game. This is going to be very strong. Now, for example, I'm going to move my unit and I'm going to show you the same situation, okay? So I'm going to grab that, pull it out. Oh, okay. It was a bit too strong. My heli killed it. Okay, I've got to find a unit. Let me use a weaker unit here. It might die, actually. Run. Oh, no, it died. Okay. Okay, no, it's out. There we go. Okay, so now watch what happens. Because I moved my howitzer, watch what's going to happen. When it gets attacked, it now has a 4-second timer before it starts shooting. So, long story short, guys, always try and pre-charge your howies. The best way of doing this, guys, is by calling in. Obviously, if you're out in the field, you can find one. But let's just say you're trying to attack a base, okay? Let's say I want to attack Mike's base, and I pull this out. I can pre-charge it by aiming at this infantry, and now it's charged, okay? And you'll actually see a little animation of your guy reloading, but now it's reloaded, okay? So when I now want to shoot something, it's going to instantly fire. So I can now go to attack Mike. Obviously, I would attack him with this. Then as soon as I fire, obviously, I can't lock onto him because he's an alliance member. But if he was the enemy, guys, the moment I lock on and start shooting him, I'm instantly going to get one volley. This is definitely going to help you if you're starting off, just to get that extra bit of damage in. Hope this, guys, has really helped you. Another tip I'm going to give you, especially if you're new and learning, is your buildings and what you want to upgrade. I, myself, have only just got all of my barracks to level 32. Now, what I would advise you guys is focus on just 2 barracks. Get 2 barracks to level 32. The others, you can take your time with. Maybe a third one if you have 3 units, if you have a lot of extra bullets and stuff for a third unit. But guys, you don't need to get every single building to level 32. If you look at my planes, I only have enough from one plane. Therefore, I'm not wasting my money, my building materials on upgrading something I'm not going to use. You want to get everything up, but I would advise, guys, don't get all 5 barracks if you don't need it, and especially your hangars. You're never going to have 3 maxed out air units. Unless you are a big whale, that's not going to happen. Even most whales only have 2. With that being said, guys, I know a lot of people don't really like getting their treasuries leveled up, but I promise you, guys, they've increased it so much now. So if you have a look here, you earn 75k an hour and you can hold up to 900. You get this in 12 hours. That's 900k from one of them. So guys, that means if you get all of these to level 32, obviously there's 4 of them, you could be earning up to 7.2 million resources a day just by using these farms. And of course, we also have the buff, guys. The buffs you're going to want to be using, these will enable you to get an extra 25%. And with that extra 25%, that means you could be getting up to 9 million extra resources a day. And honestly, earning 9 million a day, it's definitely really worth it. And I would advise you to try and get these as quick as you can, because it's just going to help you in the long run. Once they're done forever, and you're just going to be earning loads and loads every single day. Now I'm going to kind of jump into a section of tips and tricks that I kind of think are really important. We've already covered them in previous videos, but we're talking about tips and tricks, especially for new players. And maybe you haven't seen any of my other content. Definitely think about hitting that subscribe button and dropping a like on the video, because we do upload loads of informational videos to help you guys as much as possible. So I'm going to quickly fly through some that we've already spoke about in very brief detail. But of course, if you want to see the broken down versions where I really go in depth with all of these informations, please check out my previous videos. I try and put as much effort into teaching you guys everything I know about Warpath. So let's quickly do the rapid fire list. The first thing we're going to talk about, guys, is the daily arms race and the jurisdiction. So each different thing, guys, does give you the daily differences. So obviously Monday's collecting resources, Tuesday's building, Wednesday science breakthrough, Thursday is recruitment drive, which is opening your tickets, and then Friday it's both building and scientific breakthrough in one. Then Saturday's a hard one, it's using rushes. Sometimes that one's skipped because, you know, you don't want to be wasting all your rushes. And then on Sunday it's everything all put together. And what I was going to say, guys, is you want to focus on trying to get to this last one. It is 100% needed because it gives you the contribution badges, it gives you gold, it gives you rushes, it gives you everything available. And on Battle Honors Week, it gives you obviously the statues. This is 100% something you're going to want to follow, guys. And of course, that also means opening up your tickets. Guys, don't open up your tickets just because you got them. I know you want that new unit that's ever so close. Wait till Thursday, okay? Thursday is the day you open up tokens. Don't do it on any other day. This will massively hinder you if you are opening them up on any other day. So just focus it on Thursday. Thursday is the only day you should be opening them. Moving on to the next thing, kind of already spoke about it. Campaign. Guys, just do your campaign as quick as possible. I really urge you to do that if you haven't already done so. So guys, again, another little quick one is your research. Focus on industry, focus on your city honors, and then start towards obviously maxing out your military. You can do military to level up your account a little bit every time you get enough, but try and focus on these two, because the quicker you get these done, the quicker you're going to earn more rewards, the faster you'll then be able to do the rest. Another tip, guys, of course, if you haven't seen my last video, do not use your drinks in here. I know so many people have just used all their drinks in here. Save it up for the executive lounge, because here you can convert your drinks. For every 3 drinks, it makes 1 premium drink. Those premium drinks can be used to get the new and the best officers on the game. And of course, finally, we're going to quickly just tell you guys once again, officers are the main thing in the game. Make sure you are not wasting them on leveling up useless officers. Do your research on what officers are great. Of course, I have videos available for that if you want to check them out. And again, guys, just make sure you are leveling up your officers perfectly and then putting the right amount of officer statues in each different skill. But guys, of course, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Massive love to everyone who comments, likes on these videos. It really does help and puts a massive smile on my face. I hope I helped you guys. And of course, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.